this is the project construction, monitoring, and closeout. So when you're doing, guys, when you're doing any kind of construction, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing residential, commercial, industrial, whatever it is, you have to have a way to monitor what you're doing. When you monitor your site, that helps you for future sites. Okay? You have to monitor your sites, guys. That's critical. Because if you're not monitoring your sites, you don't know what's happening. You don't know if you're doing a good job. You don't know if you're doing a bad job. You don't know if you're doing quality assurance. That's another thing too, guys. Candace, you get a chance, just put your face on that. I mean, put your home screen on there. Take your face out. That way, if I put it out, if I put this out, won't nobody know it's you. There you go. Some of you guys can log on. Just use your first or your last name moving forward, guys. That'll help it. So if I clip this thing up and put it out there, they won't know you guys. They won't be trying to track you guys down. Anything that goes on the internet, man, people be trying to get it. All right, so you got to monitor it, but once you monitor it, you have to also be able to close it out. And close out, you need to look at how you monitor it. When you close it out, get everything done. And once everything gets done, you have to be able to go back and reflect on what you've done. This is going to help you for future jobs. So when you go do another job, you get into it doing some more job, you need to be able to look at and monitor. You need to be able to understand that one job so you can do better the next time. We always looking to perfect our and perfect our trade. Now, now the project manager's principal concern during the construction phase of the project are, so these are some of the things. You got your layout of the job, documentation and record keeping, guys. I have a big file, man. Let me just show you guys just right here, right quick. Like I'm kind of jumping into something else, guys, but let me show you guys just right here. So this is how I keep my job sites. So desktop, let me see if I got it. Alpha Construction. Let me make this thing a little bigger so I can see these things here. See if I can find it here. I called it Archives. Let's see. There we go. Home Archives right there. So these are once the job site gets really old, I go ahead and delete it because I don't want to have this stuff. But I have a big folder at home, man. I promise you guys. You know how big the code book is? Each one of my folders for my job sites are just as thick, if not thicker, because all the documents and everything that's pertaining to that particular structure, I save it. Guys, if you mess around and get yourself into a lawsuit or something like that, you want to be able to produce that information just like that. You don't want to be trying to search for this and search for that. You need to keep it in a folder. You know, you got these legal folders with the metal little things that sticking out of them. And I have a little thing, a little hole puncher to punch 2 holes in it, and I keep those documents together. I keep all of that stuff together, guys. And also most of the things, what I end up doing is I record a lot of stuff. Like this right here is just all the information on this one particular house right here. I have one thing, you got your power, you got your budgets, we got our contracts, we got our financial items, we got our financial statements, we got a lot of the cabinet people send their stuff, not the cabinet, but the subcontractors, when they send their stuff, I keep all their stuff. I even, in this particular job site, which was a spec, I keep all the interest payments right here. We got invoices that were sent. We got paid invoices, invoices that's needed. All of this stuff is being saved. We got permit information. You can go here and you can look at all the permits, permit card. And I used to even have affidavits and stuff like that. financial plans. So I got all the plans here. I got the septic information here. I got the subcontractor quotes here. Guys, I keep, and each one of them is the same way. That was a small job. Each one of them, this is another job right here. You better keep up with everything. Look at that. This is another job right here. I mean, this is pages and pages of information that I keep on those job sites, because at the end of the day, so you need to have that record keeping in place. Documentation and record keeping. Let me tell you guys this right here, man. I want you guys to remember this. As long as you guys are doing, if you do any kind of management, any construction, I want you to remember this one phrase. If it's not on paper, it doesn't exist. See, we get in our emotions and stuff, guys. You gotta, if you guys are gonna be in business, man, you guys, one thing that we struggle with, and even not only that, man, as a race of people, we struggle with our emotions. We struggle with how we feel. Well, this is how I feel. This is how I feel. Well, this is what I think. This is how I feel. I should be doing this right here. That stuff means nothing in business, guys. If you're talking like that, guys, if you start off with a sentence and you say, well, I feel like this right here, you already lost in business. You already lost. Okay? You better keep your documentation, and you better be able to prove everything you do. That's where documentation and record keeping come into play. Okay? Now, if you guys have questions, you guys, raise your hand. I think they got this thing now. You can just raise your hand. Let me see what I'm gonna do. Let me see if I do it. It'll put a raised hand up on your thing. You can just raise your hand up. It can view all this stuff. So your record, your documentation, your record keeping is critical. Okay. Let's see what else I got here. Conflict resolution. We talked about conflict resolution just the other day. Conflict resolution is you got. Can anybody tell me what forms of conflict resolution do you have? Can anybody tell me that? Anybody think?
Yeah, you have a what is that guy done it? Arbitration,
Good.
and well, I can't.
Mediation.
Man, right.
Mediation. Or you simply just sue them. or guys, you can just work it out. You guys can work through it. That's always an option. So let's think about the first thing I would do in any situation, guys, is I'm gonna try to work it out. I'm gonna try to work with that homeowner. You know, I've had situations where the homeowner just didn't, the homeowner went over their budgets, and it's typically guys gonna be going over the budget. That's why you guys got to make sure you get all that estimation stuff. That stuff you got to be on point. You can't be half jiving around on estimation. And it's most of the time you get over budget. If you get over budget, I've worked it out, instead of us suing and going to court and getting mad at each other and stuff like that, I said, look, I tell you what, I will, me as a builder, I will extend you a loan. You owe me $30,000. You guys just pay me $2,000 a month until you paid in full. Then I can pay my debtors off if I got debtors on the other side. And then, but I need to get them to, hey, I got to get them to sign a contract for that. Okay. So try to work it out first. If you can't work it out, probably the next best thing would be mediation. And guys, I told you guys about mediation. That's when you in one room and they in the other room. There's an attorney, and you in your room with your attorney. They're in their room with their attorney. And then there's another attorney that's in the middle, the mediator. He's floating from room to room, trying to work a deal out with y'all, trying to get this thing to go away. And typically, everybody give a little bit in order for it to go away. But if you can't resolve the problem at that particular time, then the next thing to do is you go through arbitration. Now, the reason we pick arbitration is because it's quicker. It's quick. It ain't like sitting here waiting on a court date. That could get drug out for 5 years, man, and well, 2 years, and then you sitting here. This house got to get built. You at the framing stage, and you're getting rained on and messing up the house. So we don't really have that time. So arbitration is not arbitration. Yeah, arbitration is a whole lot quicker. But whatever decision is made in arbitration, it's just like you go into court in arbitration. You got builders that contractors that has the knowledge of contracting, which will kind of help the builder in most cases, if the builder is right. Okay. So in that case, arbitration is arbitration is quicker. Then the last thing you want to do, man, is the last thing I would do is just litigate. That's gonna take time. And let me tell you guys something about attorneys, man. I think most of y'all think that attorneys are trying to win your case. That's not what they do, guys. Attorneys, their job is not to win your case. Does anybody know what the attorney's job is? What's the job of an attorney? Does anybody know what their job is? It's not to win your case. Their job is to represent you. That's it. Whether you win or lose, their job is just simply to represent you. Whether you win or lose, you're going to pay. Okay? So that's your conflict resolution. Guys, you also have labor relations and supervision. So, in a lot of cases, you got unions and things like that, which that's mostly your commercial. You have OSHA that's breathing down your back. And I'm gonna tell you something, guys. If you guys ever had to deal with OSHA, somebody probably tipped them off on you. But you got all these things, labor relations and supervision and stuff like that. You always got, guys, I'm telling you, man, when you're dealing in any kind of hierarchy in any company, there's going to be conflict between employees and things like that, especially with the supervisors and the people under the supervisors. You're going to always have problems with that, guys. That's just part of it. But you got to know how to handle those guys. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute when we talk about leadership, okay? And like I said, job site safety, guys, we done went over safety enough, guys. I think the first thing we probably do is talk about safety. So you guys can go back and look at some of the safety stuff. I talk about OSHA as well. Project meetings, man. Sometimes meetings, man, you get to the point to where you just meet to meet. Most of these big corporations, stuff like that, like my buddy of mine worked with Alabama Power, all they do is meet. They meet to talk about meetings. And sometimes you never ever get anything resolved at those meetings. And in some cases, they just meet to make the employees feel like they have a voice in the matter. Now, here's a major one right here, guys. Monitoring quality. You have to have some kind of way that you're going to monitor your quality. And quality assurance is what you got to have ways that you monitor that. I have my guys, the best way to do it is to have a checklist. I had my checklist. I don't know if I can find my checklist on here. I had a big, long checklist for my guys to go through. Let me see. I actually got it here. This is let's see, can I go to this right here? Oh man, I came out of this right here. But this is a checklist that I use. And I got to update this checklist because I found a better one. Let me see, where's that home archive? Let me see if I got it. Let's just go to this right here. Contracts. Contract that. I'll tell you, if I wasn't looking for it, man, it'd be right in my face. Let's see what this contract is. I know this one this one got to be in here. Contract. Let's look at this right here. So I got this right here. All right, here we go, right here. I don't think that. All right. So this right here is my quality assurance. Typically, when I get finished and get done, I have a big list. This is like a pre-occupancy inspection agreement, guys. I go through each one of these rooms right here, and I find every problem inside each one of these rooms. So general. So you got living room, kitchen, etc. Then you talk about the doors. Then we go into the windows and the screens and stuff like that. Electrical switches, outlets, safety switches, smoke detector, light fixtures, HVAC unit, hot water heater, It actually should just say water heater. There's no such thing as a hot water heater. Breaker box, basement boards, trim, walls, closets, floors, countertops, cabinets, plumbing, kitchen plumbing fixtures, bathroom fixtures, towel bars and paper holders, soap dish, toothbrush holders, or whatever you got, mirrors, vent fans, appliances, fireplace, cleanliness, exterior of home, yard, additional comments, guys. You need to have a checklist over that stuff, guys. And some of this stuff you guys need to start developing yourself. You guys need to start thinking about things like this, and that's in every part of construction. You want to be able to monitor your quality assurance. You got to be able to do that. And you want to do it throughout the process. I try to do it before we close the walls up, and then I do it after everything is done. Okay. Schedule control. We talked about that a little bit in some of the other. Let me see if I can find this right here. I think I did it in one job. I typically like, and that's typically gonna be on your software, guys. I typically like the Gantt chart. Gantt chart, and that comes on this right here software. Let me see, 8,000 jobs on here. Oh, there we go, 832. I like to use my house instead of using this right here is a Gantt chart right here, guys. So you can kind of see this right here. You can kind of see how everything was built, when it was built. Up here is the dates and stuff like that. So you got to have a way to schedule things. Now, cool thing about this software, I haven't had time to really get into it, but this software would actually it'll send out emails and it'll send text messages to the subcontractors and let them know a week or two. You can tell it how you wanted to do it. It'll let them know a week or two in advance. If you stay on task, it'll let them know a week or two in advance when they're scheduled to do their job. Now, the good thing about this right here is this right here. If I don't have time to set that up, guys, that's why because I'm out here in the field too. But I used to be out in the field. I'm trying to get away from the field. But guys, if you send a text message and schedule something, and you also send a email, so it does both of them, then that forces accountability. That's where you want to be, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, when you're dealing with these subcontractors, they're like subcontractors and supplier, they're like dealing with kids. I always say, man, I need to get me I need to start me an adult daycare service for what I do. Well, you didn't send that to me. That's what they're gonna tell you. You didn't send that to me. I don't remember that. I didn't get no email. Well, now you got a computer that's sending that stuff to you. So something else, guys, that you gotta be savvy of is this boy right here. Cost control. Now, cost control, I usually keep mine right here. This is what I deal with my cost control. Now you can see, like right here, I went over 132%. So I went 32% over. That right there, that site work on this particular job cost me an additional $2,000. You want to try to keep this you want to keep all these over here on the right green if you can. I tried to keep as much as I could green. Y'all see, I kind of kept most of them green because when you get into the red, that means you're losing money. That means you got to pull from another one. So you better have a way. I don't care how you do it, and you better track that project from day one. And each week, guys, I would sit down and look at your cost control to make sure you stand in budget. We kind of talked about a little bit this right here yesterday. Because if you're starting to go over budget, you better reach out to that homeowner or that owner. If you're doing commercial, you better reach out to that owner. Hey, you going over budget right here, man. But you better be keeping up with that stuff, or you better have somebody keeping up with that stuff. Because the last thing you want to do is you don't want to get 2 or 3 months and let that thing go. And I know it's easy, guys, to get like that. You're gonna be having nightmares and stuff at nighttime. You ain't gonna be able to sleep and stuff. You're gonna think about, how am I gonna tell this guy that he done went $12,000 over because you weren't keeping up with your cost control. Okay, you don't want to do that. Change orders. This software does allow you to do change orders too. I could come here and I could hit change order. It'll create a change order. Cool thing about this software is that it'll take that change order. All I really need is a signature. Most of the time, you want to collect that change order money up front. But in the event that they don't pay me up front, this right here will produce a invoice, and all I need them to do is sign that invoice. What it does is it increases their bottom line. So that change order is $550. I can find an example on everything I talk about, guys. Seem like so that change order. Let me see desktop. Here, I think I do got a change order here. Yeah, that might. Yeah, this is a change order right here. So this is a change order right here. So whatever job that right there, it actually increased her job now from 129,000 to 130,000 now. See? So all I need her to do is just sign off on this right here, and I sign off on it. I just keep it in my record, keep it in my record bookkeeping thing, record keeping folder. So you can kind of see how that works, guys. But here's the thing, guys. Now, on my contract, let me just say something about this change order, guys. This is doing custom jobs. Because you even if you're doing a spec job, if you deviate from your original plans or you do something different, I would go ahead and mark up a change order on that and not sign it. But the reason what most builders like to do is they like to collect that money up front. Because they know if you do that job and you keep going, they're not going to want to pay. Especially if they start going over budget on a lot of different stuff. They're really not going to want to pay. And I'm going to tell you guys something right now. This right here, item right here, this change order, is one of the main things that I've seen that makes builders go out of business. They don't keep up with the change orders. Okay. This right here can take you under, guys. I want you guys to, even on small projects, if you're doing I'd like to use the deck thing. If you guys are just doing decks, if you're not keeping up with that change order and you do enough jobs and you losing $300 on this job, you lost $400 on that job because you're not keeping up with these change orders, it's just a matter of time when you're going to realize that you're not even making any money in your job. You got a business going on. Yeah, you the boss, but you ain't making no money. Keep that in mind. Project closeout. Guys, you got to have some kind of way. And my punch list, I think I got a copy of the punch list. My punch list is typically my project closeout. So that big list that I showed you guys earlier, that quality assurance list, I give them that list again, and we walk through that thing, and we mark off everything. Let me see. And I actually make a list out. It's called the punch list. And now let me let me see, can I find that thing again? Let me see. Where did I see that at? Oh, desktop, alpha, home archives. There we go. There you go. One. I think I had a good one right here because this thing almost got ugly. Let me see contracts. Yeah, contract. It should be one. Let's see if I got it in here somewhere. Nope. Nope. Nah, I don't have it there. I thought I had one here, man. Because me and this guy, we went back and forth, man. This is the guy. I'm gonna tell you what this guy did. This guy actually, when 1 year, approximately 360 days after I completed the house, your warranty, you give them a 1-year warranty. He hired a home inspector to come through and do $300 to get a home inspector to come through and do another inspection. And then he sent the list to me. So you get people to do stuff like that, man. I mean, it should be okay, guys. Here we go, right here. There it is, right there. So this is what a punch list looks like, guys. So I just went through paint all garage doors, trim. These are things that I saw that was outstanding that I should have done. Went through and did all this stuff, and then I got him to sign off on it right here. So I went through, these are items that I decided I was going to address, that I was going to actually correct. Now, just because somebody put something on their list, I just say I'm going to address it. Just because you put it on your list don't mean I'm going to do it. Because if it meets building quality and standards, I'm okay with it. Okay. Questions on this right here. So this is what you guys want to keep in mind. I would take a picture of this right here, however you do it, guys. The presentation is uploaded on Blackboard. I will make sure I keep a copy of this right here. So when you guys go out there and do these jobs, I need you to follow that path. Make sure you're at least doing some of this stuff. Okay. Questions on that? Any questions?